And so today I've decided to veto the bill before me. The deadline is tomorrow. We're going to veto it today with the firm commitment that we're going to work together, all of us, for the common good of Illinois to make sure that we have a law in place that will govern campaigns for a long, long time to come when it comes to money in campaigns and when it comes to the conduct of campaigns. I think if we can add that to this list of what we've done in a year of reform, if we can get that done in October, I think it'll be a very, very noteworthy accomplishment for the people of Illinois. I want to commend the members of the General Assembly and the leaders of the General Assembly for understanding that this is 2009, a year of reform in Illinois. I think everybody understood on the 29th of January, our state was in a mess when it came to ethics in government. We needed to make dramatic improvements. I think we've tried to do that one by one by one over the last 7 months. There's a list here of all of the pieces of legislation that we've been able to enact into law, whether it's the public pension funds that had a serious scandal, whether it's boards and commissions that needed plenty of sunlight, whether it was the Freedom of Information Act and the Open Meetings Act that needed dramatic improvement, whether it's dealing with procurement, another area of government that we all believe needed improvement. All of these things we've been able to roll up our sleeves and get done. But however, we're not finished, and I think that's the message of today. So I want to make sure that any law that I sign with respect to the conduct of campaigns and campaign finance doesn't last just for one campaign season, but really lasts for a generation, hopefully multiple generations. So we have to do it right. Now, the bill that passed the General Assembly earlier this year, I testified for. I felt it was the first time in the history of Illinois, since 1818, that we actually had an opportunity to enact limits on campaign donations. And I feel that's imperative that we do that this year in Illinois. And when I testified for the bill, along with the support of the Attorney General and many others, I think it was a good first step. But at the time I testified, I said this is not a perfect bill. It is not a perfect bill, and I think it's important that we do the best we can to get to that point of perfection. And since that time, since the passage of the legislation by the General Assembly and the members of the House and Senate, we've heard from many, many people in Illinois, from individuals as well as groups, as well as newspapers and many others, indicating there are areas that it can be improved upon. So in the course of listening to people in the last few months about this particular bill, many people felt that we should go back to the drawing board with some core principles in mind, that we must have limits on campaign money that are real limits, that understand the importance of disclosure and openness and fairness and doing things right. So I've listened to all those voices, and particularly the legislative members of both parties, Democrat and Republican, who feel that another try at this particular subject is the best way for us to go as a people in Illinois.
First of all, I want to applaud the governor for taking this action. You know, as desperate as our state is for reform, and that includes campaign finance reform, there was tremendous pressure on the governor to go ahead and enact a bill that really would have maintained the status quo or even made it worse. So he has not succumbed to that pressure. The bill before us has been universally panned by the media, by good government groups, by many legislators. So it is absolutely appropriate that we move forward and try to come up with something that is actually a good reform bill.
As the governor said, the last General Assembly accomplished quite a lot in terms of reform. And it was necessary reform to undo some past hurts, to restore public confidence. This is another piece, a very important piece. It is a complicated issue. I am sure that there will be differences. However, I am equally convinced that all of us working in good faith can build a stronger, better bill that will make Illinois proud, and I welcome the opportunity to work with leadership, to work with the governor's office, and I think that in the end, the people of Illinois will be well served.